Alright, in this video we're going to be looking at some inking techniques, and these are just a few examples. This one right here shows you directional lines of using contour in a sphere and a cube. You can take a look at parallel type hatching. We're going to look at just a few of these techniques. These are some examples applied to different surfaces. So stippling, kind of a wood grain texture, cross hatching, and one of my favorites is scumbling or scribble lines. So always think of them as having value. So this is a good example of going from dark to light if you want to do this to warm up. But let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to use a pencil to draw out my outline of my objects. You can use a regular pencil just very lightly, or you could do this in ink. So I'll start with a cone, or sometimes it's fun to do different elliptical based objects like bottles, so I'm going to draw a couple of them. You can do just a basic cylinder. It's always nice to have something to help you do the parallel lines right here. Okay, these don't have to be perfect, they're just for practicing inking techniques. Okay, so we don't really want our lines to be super heavy, and we'll just practice 3 for today. Let's see, I think on this one it would be nice to do some contour lines. So you can go ahead and just very lightly outline the edge. And then I like to turn it to the side because it's all about the direction of your wrist. And I'm following this curved elliptical base. I'm not going straight. I'm curving the lines just a little bit, kind of like little tiny sideways smiley faces. You can put some up here to, that's what your goal, to meet up with that one. So since we're trying to demonstrate value, you can overlap and pull out some longer ones to give it that illusion of dark to light. So I'm going to turn this even further to the side just because it's the direction of our wrist. It's a lot easier for me to do it at an angle. Now I didn't do my outline over here so you can see the difference. I do think it looks better by lightly outlining it first. And this is hatching. We're trying to give these form, these objects or basic shapes form. Again, I did an outline up there so you can see the difference. So slowly it's starting to come together into a form. This part right here is a little bit darker. I tried some shorter lines over there, and I don't think it looks as good. So you can experiment, your style. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways to do spheres because I think it's important. Let's see if I can get this to trace. Okay, so with this one, since it's not perfect, we could do stippling. And it doesn't have to be dots. You can always do like little X's too. Sometimes, you know, you can do like little hashtags. You can mix it up. But what you're practicing here is going from dark to light. And since this is a freehand circle, it's not perfectly round. It kind of looks like a little ball of clay. So if you want, you can go all the way across, very far apart for lighter values. And that's really the trick here with inking techniques, is that the closer you have your markings together, the darker the value, and the further apart they are, the lighter the value. If you're using a micron, you want to be really gentle with the tip of your pen. It should not be something that you can hear when you're doing stippling. It should not be making a noise. That'll destroy your pen. Stippling takes a little bit of patience, a little bit of time. The results are always worth it. And kind of being mindful about where you place the dots, not just randomly kind of slopping them on there. I kind of aim for the empty spaces so that it has a nice even tone. So again, we're trying to create the illusion of form here, and I'm not adding any shadows to these, we're just going over inking techniques. What I wanted to show you with this sphere is that if you put a line in the middle, just know that each line that comes out from that will curve around it. And then you can do some that go all the way across, if you choose. Just to kind of give this the illusion of form. We could try some cross hatching over here. And again, this sphere is not complete, but just since we're already 7 minutes in, I'm going to move on to another technique. Or maybe we could do another sphere, and I can show you some scumbling. Oh, this thing is not cooperating. Okay, there we go. A little bit rough right there, but so with scumbling, it's like a little string or yarn. Now, one reminder is that darker values, I go tinier movements for darker values, and then as it gets lighter, I tend to go larger. Okay, that's just what helps me understand how to make it dark to light. You can overlap. Kind of S figure 8 shapes, just in odd directions so it doesn't look too consistent. So larger for lighter areas. And smaller for darker areas. So that got a little bit too dark. Sorry, I got distracted. Somebody walked in, but that's okay. All right. Let's go back to the cone, and I think we'll do some cross hatching there. And so again, just the direction of my wrist, I'm gonna turn this to the side. And then it'd be nice to have a straight edge for that line. It really kind of took our chance there, so make sure you use a straight edge. I'm going to turn it the opposite direction. And you can practice turning your paper to kind of get used to these directional lines. Really on that first one, a few of these are just getting warmed up. once you get going, it's a lot easier. Okay, so now I'm going to add my cross hatching so they can go in various lengths. So again, closer together, the more markings you have, the darker the value, and then further apart, the lighter the value. You can look for little spots where you see light areas and go in and clean them up a little bit. I could take an eraser and get rid of my pencil lines completely. That way we can see what we have not done, so the bottle's not finished. All right, so go ahead and label these. I like to call this one contour hatching. And this one is the same, contour hatching. And then this one referred to as scumbling or scribble. I feel like anything that goes in a circle is like a scumble. Okay, so that'll be it for the warm-up, and or just, it's not even a warm-up, this is just some techniques that will help you with your Inktober warm-up. So I hope this helped, and we'll do a few more of these next time. And stippling, really work at that for a while. Get rid of, do tiny little dots. I guess that's probably an important thing that you should know, is if we were to take away the outline, what do we have left? So I always say do not outline your stippling, you can do dots, okay? All right, thank you.